never would have had that money spare. We're talking like 10,000, something like that.
Yeah.
If I'd been full time, it just never would have been there. Certainly not within a year of going solo. As in within a year, of being full time, like saving up, I wouldn't have got that money. But within a year of being solo, I was able to have that money and put it into a house. And now we're in the process of selling that house for way, way more than we bought it and buying a bigger house. So it's kind of, although it seems mental to all these people, the banks included, you're solo and you're a risk and all this. No, I'm in control of how much money I make. I'm not going to get fired by the agency I work for because I work for myself. And yes, I might lose clients and whatever else. I have to pay tax and, corporation tax and whatever else. But I can make more money or make less money as my lifestyle changes. Whereas it's very difficult to do that in a very flexible way in full-time employment, because your salary is often your salary for 2 to 3 years before you beg your boss or convince your boss that you actually are worth more than your salary.
Yeah. It's interesting the way when you have a full-time job and you have to prove to someone else your worth, but when you work for yourself, you value yourself a lot more. Like, I value my time now a lot more than I did when I was full-time, and I would go in and do the job and do what was expected and help the team and support the team as much as I could. But I do value my time now a lot more than I did when I had a full-time job. Like you just said before, it's what's the value of my time versus the life that I want and the balance that I want, and where does that sit, and where am I most comfortable, yet still challenging myself to learn new things and develop
exactly. I think if people can think of it more like that, then it doesn't become monetary. I think so many people move for monetary reasons, or I don't know, well, that seems to be the main reason. And if you actually think about why you've maybe moved jobs in the last few years, why you're not happy in this job and you weren't happy in the previous job, you start to kind of get your true motivations. And if you can align your solo business to your true motivations, then you can be far more happy than if it's just about money, which, if it's about money, then it's always going to be stressful, because it's about, making as much money, not about creating as much free time or whatever.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I most certainly do agree with you on that one. And then our last question then is, what's the one thing you would take to a desert island?
It's so hard not to go down the route of like technology with that question, because obviously I'm my business from anywhere in the world pretty much. Yeah. So to have a laptop on a desert island, I'd also have a business running, and I'd also have the creative side of Graft to carry on doing. But if we take tech out, I'd probably take one of my dogs or both my dogs if I was allowed, since they're great company. And if I'm on a desert island, I think that's what I'd want.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, Col, just to wrap up our interview today, I really, really appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us. I think your story is fantastic, and the way you've changed and kind of, by the sounds of it, you've found that balance of what you're worth, what you want, what you don't want, and you've got the creativity and the freedom to take Graft to pretty much wherever you choose to take it, and the freedom to do that. So a massive, massive thank you for sharing your story with us.
No worries. You're welcome.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So there you have it. There's our chat with Col, which I'm sure you'll agree is a fantastic story, like we mentioned at the outset. And what's really interesting for me is when Col talks about why he set up Grafted, why he looked at that as, yes, you need to make money and you need to fund a lifestyle and you need to be secure in what you're doing, but making money isn't the be all and end all. If you have a comfortable life, which everyone's life can be deemed comfortable at any particular point. So it's not, you have to make £1 million to be comfortable. It's however you see comfort and however you see success. But then you also balance it with that element of creativity, that element of freedom. And probably he gets ideas from Graft that he can implement in other places because he has the freedom to try. He has the freedom to look at things from a point of view of, if it fails, it's fine. If it works, it's better. And that's a really interesting takeaway for me, and that you should always have something that you can step back and look at it in a different way, or you get to the point sometimes in freelancing or in business where everything is just so fast and so full on and so intense that you need to step away sometimes and have that perspective. And that's what it's about. And I think that's what Col has grasped really, really well, and what he tried to put across in the interview today. So again, a massive thank you to Col, a massive thank you to everyone for listening and promoting the show and being included in the show. We have plenty more interviews lined up for you, which I'm sure you will enjoy as well. So yeah, massive thank you. And until next week, we'll see you soon.